The modern consumer economy is built to be frictionless. Businesses spend millions optimizing their supply chains for one single goal: moving a product from their warehouse to your front door as quickly as humanly possible. Then there's the room where those rules collapse. In 2024, at a Christie's auction, a paddle went up to secure a very specific lot. The object was an Hermes Birkin bag. It has no exterior logos, it holds daily items, and the hammer fell at $510,000. The person who won that auction already had 17 identical iterations of this exact bag sitting in a closet. The purchase had absolutely zero connection to physical utility. This transaction suggests that in this bracket of commerce, the most significant factor is no longer the ability to pay, but the rare opportunity to be allowed to pay. If you ask Hermes why you cannot simply purchase a Birkin, they will point to their ateliers.
Every bag takes up to 24 hours of labor by a single artisan. They argue the wait list is simply the unavoidable bottleneck of handmade craftsmanship. This is a chart tracking the company's corporate scaling. In 2023, Hermes generated over 13.4 billion euros in revenue. They employ 23,000 people and consistently open new manufacturing facilities. The infrastructure exists to scale production, but the supply curve for their flagship product stays flat. Ferrari runs an identical playbook. The automaker has the factory capacity to fulfill global orders, but their stated policy is to explicitly produce one car fewer than the market demands. Standard economics relies on a wide funnel to capture as many customers as possible. These brands use an inverted funnel. You cannot simply buy the flagship item. You must first spend tens of thousands of dollars on belts, scarves, or entry-level models to build a purchase history, hoping to eventually squeeze through the tiny opening at the top. By removing the buy button from public access, the physical product becomes secondary. What they are actually selling is a membership to an exclusive class. This creates an obvious contradiction. Why do highly affluent, extremely powerful people willingly submit to a frustrating, patronizing gauntlet when they could easily buy a competitor's product today? In 1966, psychologist Jack Brem mapped out a cognitive glitch called psychological reactance. When a barrier is placed between a human and an object, restricting their freedom to obtain it, the subject's measured desire for that object spikes aggressively. From an evolutionary standpoint, the brain equates extreme scarcity with immense survival value. We are wired to obsess over what is kept out of our reach. A brand that denies a millionaire creates a frustrated millionaire, and that specific group's visible, vocal desperation to gain access acts as a highly potent, completely free global marketing campaign. These companies haven't discovered a new way to manufacture goods. They have weaponized a biological quirk to dictate the behavior of the ultra-rich. But a corporate board still answers to shareholders. Intentionally refusing millions of dollars from willing buyers seems like terrible financial management. Looking at the secondary market explains the math. The retail price of a standard Birkin is around $12,000. Because the supply is artificially choked, that exact bag commands $36,000 to over $120,000 the second someone else buys it. This establishes a rigid price floor. A new car typically loses value the moment you drive it off the lot. A limited allocation Ferrari often doubles in value before you even turn the key. This is a bar chart comparing automotive margins. Toyota operates at roughly 10%. Ferrari operates at an astonishing 38%. That gap isn't born from manufacturing efficiency. It is the direct mathematical result of engineered deprivation. This pricing power transforms a luxury purchase into a high-yield investment, effectively removing the financial risk of the transaction. This psychological loop has been actively cloned by mainstream culture. It drives the weekly hype cycles of streetwear drops and exclusive sneaker apps, replacing the multi-year waitlist with digital queues and physical campouts. The mechanics execute the same chain reaction. Scarcity forces a queue to form. The queue provides visible social proof that the item matters, and that social proof infects people who didn't even want the item in the first place. But the engine fails without genuine substance. If the underlying product lacks real quality or historical weight, artificial scarcity generates immediate resentment instead of desire. Scarcity is a multiplier, not a foundation.
It requires the raw fuel of undeniable compounding quality to work long-term. In the 1950s, Enzo Ferrari recognized this equation. He stated clearly that his primary job was to guarantee demand always outpaced what he could supply. The final object serves as a physical receipt of the buyer's patience and social dominance. In an era defined by infinite digital abundance, rapid logistics, and instant access, humanity doesn't value what is easy. We only truly value the hard get.